Hi there, Big Red here. This is a review of G3 Genuine Guide Gear's Glue Renew. And I thought it would be fun to create a video of me trying to put on the Glue Renew onto a very old pair of G3 skins. These are probably, getting close to 11 or 12 years old now. And they actually still work, but the glue, if you'll see, when I pull it apart, it's just turned to like mush and it gets everything sticky. I've used them in a pinch, but it's time for new glue. So I thought I would create a video to share my experience of doing this. In order to do that, I've got my skins, of course. I've got the Glue Renew. I also saw online that some people say it's a good idea to put some painter's tape on the fabric or the plush side of the skin, so if any glue gets over the edge, it's not going to get into the plush. So I have that. I've got a hot air gun I borrowed from my neighbor. He was kind enough to let me borrow it. And I've got a number of paint scrapers. And I believe that a metal one probably works best. But this is what I have, so I'm going to give it a try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the rip strip from the skin, and then I'm going to heat the skin up, and section by section I'm going to try and remove the old glue. And instead of keeping this video going the whole time while I'm doing that labor-intensive process, I'm going to start doing that now, and I'm going to move the camera so it's looking down on the process that I'm doing, and then you'll be able to watch that process. And then I'll do the same thing when I reapply the new glue, and hopefully it all works well once I get the skins back out on the snow. Okay, here we go. Okay, to get the rip strip off, it's pretty easy. You just have to start it on one edge, and then you just have to pull it down. And if your glue is like mine and it's quite sticky, this can be a bit of a sticky process, but not terribly bad. So you can see that as long as the skin doesn't stick together, it's this part is pretty straightforward. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm heating it. And as I'm heating it, I'm scraping the old glue off. And it takes a little bit of time for the hot air gun to heat up. But as you can see, it comes off really well. So I've got the glue off the skins now, and you can see they look pretty clean. There's still a little bit of residue adhesive on there, but nothing particularly major. The one thing I did learn from doing this for sure is the importance of using a metal scraper. I used these plastic paint scrapers, and it actually worked, but the difference was I had to take the scraper and scrape after I heated the glue, as opposed to scraping while I heated the glue, which I would have been able to do if I had a metal scraper. One of these I did that with, and I realized the edge of this started to actually melt with the hot glue gun. So as I've read about in other places, the metal scraper would be the best method. But if all you have is this, and you're mindful not to melt it, it worked pretty well for me. So now I'm going to start the re-gluing process. And as you can see, I've taken the Glue Renew and I've laid it out over top of the skin. And now I'm just carefully spreading it out over the skin, just taking my time to try and get it on there nice and smooth. And I'm just going to keep unfolding and putting it on, smoothing it out. Smoothing it out as I go, just like this, all the way. So now that I have the new glue on here, I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to carefully trim along the edge of the skin before applying heat. And I'm just gonna do this all the way down. Okay, so I've got it all trimmed up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've got my iron here ready to go, and I think they recommend about 120 degrees Celsius as the heat. This is my little iron, my wax iron, it's a little coating iron. But I see a little bit of smoke coming off of it because it's been used for wax. So then I'm just going over this to melt the wax, or the new adhesive, sorry, back into the skin. And you can actually see it, I'm trying to make sure there's no bubbles in there. And it seems to be working okay. So this is sat now for about 10 minutes, and you can see I'm just peeling it off, and it seems to be coming off okay. Nice and clean. There's a little bit on the edges here I'm going to have to clean up, but that's okay. Originally when I did do it, there was a few bubbles in there, so I just put the parchment paper back on top and then hit it again with the heat. But so far it's looking like it's coming out, yeah, okay. And now I've tried sticking the skins back together, and it's actually turned out pretty good. When I pull it, you can see it's got the characteristics of a newer skin. You'll see there's a couple places like right here where obviously I didn't have enough heat, and so I'll have to go back and put a little bit more heat on. And I know that's the case because earlier when I was pulling the skins apart, some of the glue was coming away from the backing material, so I went back and hit it again with heat. So it's been a little bit of a process, but I'm happy with the way it's turned out, and the glue on these skins is definitely not less tacky, but it's not leaving the adhesive behind on my fingertips anymore. And so I'm excited about getting out into the snow and actually giving these glue renewed skins a try. And I'll be sure to bring my camera so I can add that to my review. Thanks for watching the Big Red Review. Stay safe out there and have fun adventuring.